My phone's always silent.
Me too. It's always on D&D.
Is it really?
Yeah. But I always like check it, so
It's funny how you go on D&D but you still check.
Yeah. Do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so bad. You just see that like one message. It's like work related, just like makes you anxious.
I hate it. So okay, were you doing lashes all day? But no, you went live. I went on that. I was like,
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. I actually don't do lashes anymore. So I do like trainings and then sell products.
Oh.
But the person I was on live with is one of my business partners. So she lives on the island, and our partnership is I'm basically their like global educator. So that's why I'm traveling all the time. The reason I'm out of town 2 weeks is because I'm working for her.
Okay, so you don't do any lashes anymore, but you did before at some point.
Yeah, I actually I guess became a retired lash tech in December. So I was doing lashes for 5 years, and then I was only in town since March for 2 weeks out of the month. So I was starting to feel bad for my clients because they were starting to work around my schedule. And as a service provider, I feel like I should work around their schedule.
Right.
So, yeah, now I'm just...
Well, is there a reason why you just stopped?
I just got so busy with my product line and training. Right. So it's just doing lashes, I was literally just doing it for fun. All my income comes from selling products and courses. So I also travel to train my courses that I created. But if I'm training on behalf of my business partner, I'm fully trained on their courses. So I'm training on behalf of their company.
Okay.
So my business partner is the biggest lash industry in North America. So they have a higher demand than me being a smaller business. So when I'm traveling and training on their half, we have a really good commission split where I get most of it, and then they just send me to train their courses. Yeah.
And then did they just find you through your social media and just said, whoa, just come help us?
Yeah, it's been a long relationship between that one in particular. I've known her for 3 years, and we became really good friends. And she's a young mom, and she wants to stay home with her kids, and she can't do the traveling anymore. So she went through a lot of people and who she trusted to represent her business properly. So she presented the opportunity to me in November. I was really hesitant because it felt like I was giving up on my business, working for another one. But we worked out a deal where it just was such a good offer that yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't see why you wouldn't take that opportunity. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just too
It's really great. Traveling is so nice. It's different when you're traveling for work, but having an opportunity to travel and not deal with any logistics either. She will find the students, hook up the salon, take care of all my accommodations, travel, and pay me. So it's I don't have to worry about logistics where when I'm planning a training for business, I have to worry about all that stuff. So it's a no-brainer for me. It's easier.
Was that the same lady that was on live?
Yeah, so that's her.
Nice.
Her name's Caitlin. She's awesome.
And the product that you have, is it the
masks?
Yeah, the masks.
That's one of my products. I have a full product line for lash techs. Basically, I sell products for lash techs to use during their services. And then I have 2 books that I wrote on application, and then 2 courses.
You do have very in-depth lash clips.
Thank you.
and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I didn't think lash work was so scientific and there's a real calculated method to it,
to do it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it normally isn't, but the way my brain works is super analytical. I've always been that way. So I find that combining that with lashes is where I found my success, or voice at least in the industry. But yeah, it doesn't have to be. You could just apply them, but I think it could be just so much better if you did it strategically.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you were writing down the measurements.
The measurements, yeah.
I was kind of damn, I need to figure out my lashes.
You want me to give you a lash map?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, the one clip I saw today, I creeped you, yeah. I've already told you this.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, the one where you had when you were in high school, you looked older, but now you actually look younger with the lashes lifting your face or something.
Yes. Oh, very good.
Yeah. See,
very good. That video actually was what got me my first invitation to speak at a conference because it went viral.
I bet.
Yeah, that was my favorite video for like. That video alone got me 15K followers. It's crazy how like one video can do something like that. But yeah, that was my.
It's always on that. It's always the videos that you don't think are gonna pop off that do.
Yeah, I know.
And it's kind of concerning in a way. It's like really you thought this video was the one, and people gravitated towards this, and it's not even that.
I was really happy that video popped off though, because it was like I feel like it represented my course really well, so it got me a lot of sales as well, versus like a lot of some of my videos that pop off like are pointless and they don't convert anything.
Right, so I see what you mean.
It's really dependent on like, I hate that though. Like when you have a video that pops off and you're like, what's this going to do for me?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I always remember the one clip that went viral was the one where we had Bob on the pod and he was talking about Jackie Chan. And there's so many more valuable clips that I put out about mental health, personal growth. And it's the one where Jackie Chan boycotts his kid for smoking weed. That's the one that snaps. Really?
That's okay. Well, any publicity is good publicity.
I know.
Especially for a podcast. And people, you get traction on your page. They want to see more of your stuff.
Yeah, so I don't mind it, honestly.
That's awesome.
As a businesswoman, that's killing it. I don't know how women express envy and jealousy. With guys, I can sense it. There's certain things that guys do that make my antennas start going out. Like what's this about? It's really subtle, but I can sense it. Do you feel that way with certain? Because I will say, I mean, there are probably a lot of women that look at you and they're like, wow, fuck, like, she's doing her thing. She's traveling around the world doing all these courses. She has her own product line. She's killing it. It's only human nature for a lot of women to look at you and feel some sort of way about it.
I mean, okay, there's a lot to say about envy, but I personally think that people that are competing with one another aren't going to go far. There's an element of competition in business for sure, don't get me wrong, but there is so much more in like collaborating and like getting inspiration from other people that are doing well. I've definitely experienced other people in my industry maybe replicating my products or like I don't want to use the word copying, but putting their own twist on some of the things I've done, and it's definitely made me upset. But then you have to look at it in a way where like, okay, if this person is viewing me like this, I'm doing something right. And I also think that envy is inevitable, but I don't really want to be surrounded by anyone that's envious and it's written all over people's face when they're jealous, or like you can just sense it. You get the vibes.
What do you mean by that?
Like you get the vibes when someone's like, there's micro expressions when someone's not truly happy for you, or someone doesn't truly appreciate or see value in what you're doing. And I feel like I'm pretty good at reading that with people, and I can sense it almost immediately if I get that vibe.
Okay. I 100% agree with you. What gives it away for you?
So communication's barely verbal. For me, it's expression on the face. Like if someone's happy for you, but their eyes don't light up or their smile's not like genuine, you can like sense it.
There's something in it, right?
Yeah, you can sense it. Or, passive aggressive comments. I don't know. I don't attribute myself with that kind of energy. And
do you get that from women too?
I mean, I don't search
and not even, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you cool with me interjecting it?
No, interject.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you, and I completely understand the part where your competitors and people that are in the same industry have that competitive fire and there is envy and jealousy. I get that. But even just people in your circle or, people you're associated with, friends of friends.
Yeah. That's a really good question. Okay. I would say I have like maybe 3 solid friends and like none of them are envious. I think also when someone doesn't have something going on for themselves, that's when a lot of envy comes in, and not even just like success in a work standpoint. Like if someone doesn't feel happy or they're not reaching their goals, most likely they're going to compare themselves to you subconsciously, and then they're going to be envious of you. But the people I like choose to surround myself with limited time are all like amazing people. I would never surround myself with someone that I don't think is making me better or making me introspective in that way. But there's definitely like I would say I have a lot of friends, but like not like super close friends that I would trust with anything. Does that answer your question?
No, fair. No, I mean, also that's the thing. You can't be super close with everyone. Like that whole notion of just being really vulnerable with every single friend is not. It's inauthentic.
Yeah.
It's not It's virtually impossible to do that with everyone.
Mm-hmm. It's so true, and you also have to learn that though. Like I've definitely gone through maybe friendships that wasn't serving me, and I felt like not my best self with, but I feel like you got to filter out, and that's just the process of aging. Like you start to realize who really is happy for you, who's not, and who's happy for you when you're doing well, not just like when you're down and bad, How
do you sense those things? I mean, what are some giveaways where you're starting to feel, oh, what's going on here? I mean, I don't. It's a loaded question. I mean, there could be a lot of things, but
I would say like off the top of my head, I'm a really good friend to the people that I'm friends with, and if I'm not getting like my needs met or reciprocated, then I guess like I don't know. I can't have my expectations of how I am on others, but there's just like a standard that I hold for myself and like the really close people in my life. I don't know what like an example would be though.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things. Like it's just the effort that people put in.
For sure. Like it really depends. Like, are people showing up for you? Are people like taking time to listen to you? Or like when you're happy about something, you light up about something. Are your friends excited as well? Like things like, I look for things like that. Do they shut you down when you're excited about something and they don't care about it? Or like just showing up for you in like the ways you need to be shown up for.
It's one of those things where I've had it with even with close friends that I've known for a while, where they know I'm doing the podcast. They think it's super cool. They're always telling me how much I'm doing and how good it is and whatever. But there's moments where I can sense that there is a bit of like, there's this one girl that always comments on my shit, that always hates.
Oh, always hates.
I'm gonna address that later. There's something about fucking pisses me off. I don't know this girl.
She's always hating?
She's always hating. She doesn't even follow me. It's like as if she has my notifications on in her phone. And she just goes off.
What?
And recently, one of my close friends that I've known for years, texted me. He's like, ha, like just something along the lines of ha, oof, to one of the comments that girl was posting on my thing. But it sat weird with me because it's like, why is it a funny thing that this girl always hates? Why is this funny to you? It's as if you're throwing like fuel to it in a way. And I just said like, well, dude, like whose side are you on here?
Of course, yeah.
And
that would rub me the wrong way too.
Yeah.
I
just don't know. And I tend to overthink shit. So I'm always thinking, what's this person? This person has ulterior motives. He's never been on my side.
I see. Is this person hating on your page, is it like an actual profile, or is it like a fake account?
I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's a bot. It's a real profile.
Yeah.
We have mutuals, and I've asked those mutuals if they know her.
This person, yeah.
And they've all said no, but she has a ton of, I don't know.
That's so weird. Do you value people on an action-based level or more like verbal? Like,
good question.
Would you rather have someone say to you, "Oh, I'm so proud of you," or show you through their actions, like showing up to something for you, or like giving you something? Like, what would you prefer?
A bit of both. Mm-hmm. Like verbal, I mean, verbal's always nice to hear good things, right? Yeah. I mean, with guys, it's different because we don't really buy each other gifts. I think it's with guys, if we can be extremely honest with each other.
I see what you mean. That's a really good response.
That's the key. That's the key to knowing if that other person really cares for you. Mm-hmm. And I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. A week ago, I called my friend because he's trying to give something up. Okay, mm-hmm. He's going through this thing where he's kind of, I guess, there's a lot of substance use involved. Okay, and he's just not himself when we hang out, and it's starting to piss me off because he's just not himself. He's a shell of himself, and it just the hangout's not fun. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. And I've told him before, listen, buddy, you're ruining your shit. Yeah. But now it's affecting me. Yeah. And so I called him. I said, dude, like, you need to figure it out. Yeah.
Well, that's a really good, like, friend, though, because it's so easy to not tell your friends the hard truths. And I feel like that's such a good point. Like, when a friend's, like, saying the tough things that they don't want to say to you for your benefit, that's a good friend. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say be keeping it 100% with me.
That's a really good response.
Do women do that?
I feel like the same, yeah. Yeah, my best friend, she's just like that. Like, she's telling me things I don't necessarily want to hear, and in the moment I'm like, oh, like, you're such a downer. Like, I don't want to hear that, but then I, like, reflect on it, and you're like, yeah, she's a good shit. Like, she said that. Yeah. Yeah.
What's some of the shit?
I don't know. I can't think of an example, but, like, I don't know, if a decision I want to make, I'm excited, and then she'll bring me back to reality of the situation and, like, point out all the things I might not have seen prior to making the decision, you know?
What's one of the things that gets you really stressed out? It doesn't have to be business related.
It doesn't have to be business related. Like, stressed out in what way?
Gets you overthinking and really stuck in your head, where you just don't even feel present anymore.
Maybe you answer that question, and then I'll answer that question. I have to think.
I mean, with me, it's just every day. It's just every day, every waking moment. I'm just thinking of what I could be doing better.
Yeah.
I could be doing more.
Yeah. That's okay. You kind of sparked a response for me. But I think, okay, everyone has this connotation of being a perfectionist as being, like, a somewhat good thing. But I think it's one of, like, the worst things to have, because internally you just put so much pressure on yourself. I'm a very, like, black or white thinker, so I don't really have too much, like, gray thoughts. It's either, like, this or that. And I think that definitely stresses me out, like, not being able to, like, do things until in my mind they're perfect, and then, like, second guessing those decisions, or, you know, feeling like I'm not doing enough, feeling like I'm wasting time, or being in, like, my prime and feeling like I'm not living it how I should. I feel like there's so many comparisons.
What do you mean by prime? What does that mean? Wait, hold on.
I guess that's a controversial comment I made. But
no, it's not controversial. I mean, let's explore that. What is that?
I don't know. I'm just, like, optimally youthful, healthy, young. I don't know. I just feel like I have optimal energy right now in life, and, like, I'm also in my 20s, and when you're in your 20s, you have a lot of excuses or scapegoats because you're not expected to have everything figured out right now. So I feel like sometimes I'm wasting time where I could set my future up to be way better if I was behaving better.
So you don't think you're doing enough at 24?
I feel like, I mean, who thinks that they're doing enough ever?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know, I can recognize that I'm doing what I think my best is, but I also definitely don't think I'm doing enough, no.
In what other avenues, though? Because the way you said it just now, it was, I mean, you said youthful, full of energy. I mean, a few other things. That doesn't sound really business related. I mean,
I guess so.
Do you feel like you're not having as much fun as you think you should be having?
I mean, I guess I have to reflect, like, for the past almost 4 years building my business, I was basically like a hermit. Like, I can count on one hand the amount of times I went out and, like, drank. I can like count on one hand the amount of times I like traveled during, like, it was COVID, but like I just really didn't go out. I feel like I missed a lot of opportunities building my business. I'm really grateful for it now. I wouldn't change anything, but I do have like some sort of regret of feeling like I missed out on like my early 20s.
Of having fun.
Yeah.
And that constitutes going out, drinking. I'm not judging you.
No, you're right. I mean, I don't think that would be the only thing. Like, even just experiences. Like, I just stayed home for like 4 years, just working. So I find there's good in that, in the sense where I've built something from it. But then I also look back, I'm like, I was a kid. I should be, having experiences. I'm not saying like going out and going to bars and stuff like that. Like, that's not my idea of fun anyways, but just like making memories with friends and stuff. I definitely like shut out a lot of friendships during that, and don't feel like I was the best friend as well, because I was almost selfish in a way, just like really just focusing on what I wanted to do.
Would you label it as being selfish? Like, if you like, when you look back on it and just how you were, that's the word that comes to your mind. I was being selfish.
Not just selfish, but I do think there was a lot of like, I do feel like I put a lot of my needs before others. Just not a bad thing, but I think I might have hurt a few feelings during the process of that.
Which is, I mean, it is what it is, though.
Yeah. I'm just an empath, though. I don't want to hurt feelings.
No, I can tell you don't. That's not your go-to to just.
No.
I mean, you're only 24 though. Do you feel like the way you're talking about it is as if you're
I'm like 40,
54 or 64, and
No, during that time, like, my mom we'd go on walks and she'd be like, You're 22 going on 64 with your lifestyle. Like, you're just chilling, Like, she's like, go out. Like, my mom was encouraging me to, like, go have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't regret it. It's not, like, a negative thing of any sort. It's just, looking back, there would be things I would do a little bit differently.
Would you do? I mean, like, you're thriving now. I mean, does that really mess with you at times?
No, it doesn't mess with me in a way, but my body like started to like I started to get really sad, and like I started to go through like a period of life where I just wasn't as happy as I usually am. And I think that's when I started to make changes of like, okay, I'm going to like have a little bit more balance in life, have more of that work-life balance. And I mean, sometimes it needs to get to a point where you feel like your body's like shut down on you, to get to a point where you're like, hey, I need to make some changes.
And when you mean your body was starting to shut down, like you could physically feel like something was up and things were changing, and
yeah,
in real time you could sense it.
In real time, yeah, definitely. I think like every human has something that they like protest when they're upset and not happy. So for me, it's always been food. So when I was at a really like down point in my life, I started to protest food. So I started to, like, subconsciously, I started to, like, not want to eat in a way because I was just so overworked and, like, stressed. And it wasn't even for, like, body image things. Like, I wasn't even afraid to, you know, gain weight, lose weight, any of that. I was just more over, like, my body was protesting food. I'm, like, so stressed I couldn't eat. So that's when I started to feel like, yeah, okay, we need to make some changes.
So the stress got to a point where, did you just not have the time to eat, or were you just thinking yourself, well, I don't deserve to eat because I haven't done X, Y, and Z in my business, or, right?
That's a good question. There's a lot to it, but it was...
I mean, if you're comfortable...
No. I
don't want to, like...
No, it's totally fine. The world can hear it. It was so confusing because I still don't really understand it. I don't know if I ever will, but I almost felt like food was going to make me sick. Like, I felt like food was slowing me down. And I wasn't thinking rationally because I just wasn't getting, like, the nutrients I needed. But I didn't have a good relationship with food in general. Like, I used it as, like, a reward. Like, oh, if you've worked enough, like, you can eat. Or, like, weird things like that. I had these, like, patterns in my brain where I just protested food. I would be, like, using food as not something food should be used for. Food should, you know, give us energy, allow us to function optimally. But I was using it as, like, okay, you've worked hard enough, you can eat.
Interesting.
So weird.
I'm trying to, like...
I still don't really understand why that happened. I don't know if I ever will, but that was where my mind was at. You look so confused.
I'm trying to, like, compute the theme here, because it's as if, like, again, yeah, like you said, like, you were rewarding yourself for being this productive. Okay, now I can eat. Like, the variable is food.
And
it could have been anything.
Still like that though. Like, if I'm stressed, like, it's food that I will take it out on. I don't know why.
What is it about it? What is it about it now that you take it out on food? Like, what is it about?
I'll just be like, oh, food's slowing me down. Like, sometimes I'll eat them and feel tired after.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
Things like that. Or, I don't know, like, for the longest time when I was in recovery from that, like, I had to put alarms on my phone throughout the day to remind myself to eat. It was more of a, like, I felt like a chore versus, like, something that's enjoyable. But the interesting part in that is I love to cook. If I wasn't doing lashes, I would definitely be a chef. Like, I love the creation of food, but then when it comes to eating it, I don't know. Like, just, like, whatever.
Damn, yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
I know, I don't really understand it.
My brain is breaking right now. Because the way I'm thinking of it is the reason why I said variable, because I could see a lot of people, like, if they were in your position, they would be like, hey, well, I don't deserve to take a shower unless I do this, and that.
Yeah.
Or I don't deserve to, I guess, I don't know, go to sleep if I don't get this done by this certain time, right? Like, so then, but then there is something with food with you that's just kind of gripped on you, and then.
I know, it's so weird. Like, it wasn't like that in my childhood at all. Like, I love food and everything. I come from an Italian household.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was literally about to say that.
It's tough, right? But I'm doing a lot better with it. It was just, I think, going back to the point where I was, like, extremely stressed and overworked. My body was taking it out on protesting food, and I noticed that whenever I get extremely overworked or overwhelmed, it always goes back to food. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why. Come on, Masters Program. I need to.
Maybe someone will diagnose me or know what's going on.
Mean, you seem very self-aware of it. I mean.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Like, even when it's happening, like, I would say I'm pretty introspective, so I'm realizing it's not logical. I'm like, it's not logical to protest food. But you know, when emotions are so strong, you just like, I don't know. I don't like that it has this control on me.
It's funny because with control, there's a bit of, do you think there's a bit of control in, like, you want to be able to control food? You're not, okay, how do I word this? Fuck, this is
I think you're onto something.
Your sense of control over food gives you, I wouldn't say power, but a feeling of control when you can tell yourself, oh, I can now eat this because I did that.
Yeah.
And that in itself has that control piece where you want it.
Yeah.
But maybe you couldn't get it from anywhere else, but this is the only place where, but it's self deteriorating.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a really good point. I definitely think it's a control thing. I did go to therapy for it and everything, and that was a thing that my therapist kept bringing up. And you're in training to be a therapist, eh?
I am, yeah.
It's very good job.
I did it shitty just now.
No, but you actually hit it. You hit it.
Oh my lord.
No, you got it like spot on. I think it's a control thing for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's really messing with me now too. Just the sense of even
the control.
Yeah, even I guess coming here and doing this podcast now. I want it to go so well.
Yeah.
Right? I have this idea in my head. We've talked about this before. I have this idea of how it's supposed to go.
Okay.
But it's not realistic because the way it's supposed to go isn't even really a real tangible thing. I kind of make up scenarios in my head. So for example, I will be honest, after this episode, I'm going to be driving home and thinking, wow, I fucked up. I wasn't a good host. I didn't ask the right questions. I made her feel uncomfortable.
No, not at all. I feel so comfortable. Chilling. No, you're doing a great job. Like I know that like you have to believe it for yourself, but you're doing such a great job and you're hosting such an incredible podcast, giving people platforms to talk about things that like I've never talked really about this food thing with a random person I just met today, right? So and now the internet. So it's you're giving people a platform. Clearly, you know, I'm comfortable enough to talk about something like this. I can imagine your other guests have talked about very vulnerable things as well. So it's amazing what you're doing.
One thing thank you, first of all. Of
course. That
means a lot. But I will say, man, what you just said to me, right now it's a moment of relief. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
But my mind and a lot of men go through this self-deprecating cycle of it fades away really quick, that feeling of wow,
that relief
that satisfaction and that feeling of I'm doing good. Within hours it completely flips on its back and you get back into the cycle of like, well, shit, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. It's really never ending.
Like having like, do you find that like you have a negative mental narrative? Like, do you find that you're hard on yourself with that little voice in your head?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I sent you the voice messages before talking about how we just, I don't know, guys. For me, I'm going to talk for me. It doesn't really matter what I do. It just doesn't ever feel good enough. I don't feel as if I'm ever going to be good enough.
Have you always felt that way? Or do you find that's like occurring more in adulthood?
I think I've become more aware of it as I've gotten older. Like in my early 20s in high school, I virtually had no responsibilities. I was an idiot, you know. I was a goof doing my thing, right? I didn't weigh out the consequences of the things I'm doing and the risks, and you know, I didn't have life coming at me. So I was free in the sense that there was a part in the back of my mind that knew that a storm was about to come, and at some point things were gonna get pretty heavy, and I knew that. I kind of like, I had that intuition to know that this is the time where I can be completely free of all pressures.
Yeah.
And I would say after 23, 24, it almost happened in real time where I could sense, oh, shoot, here we go.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did you start, like, what was the switch? Like, what did you find was, like, making you start to feel that way?
For me, it was just really, I got to a point where, because basketball was my thing. I played basketball in college.
Oh, cool.
I knew I wasn't going to play pro. I knew I wasn't going to make the NBA. Although.
Why'd you think that?
Well, because I'm a 23-year-old Persian guy from North Van, 5'11".
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, oh, thank you. I mean, that's very wishful thinking. But, I mean, it got to a point where I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. I kind of was just like flowing through life. Just the wind was blowing me in every direction. I had no idea. I was outgrowing some people that I thought that I was going to be friends with forever.
Kind of thing, yeah.
That was weird. That really fucked with me because then that really kind of threw me in an identity crisis where I'm thinking, okay, well, these were my people. Am I changing? Is it them? Do I need to figure out what I did wrong? Or so I mean, it got over. It really, like, I can remember specifically days where I would go to sleep at like 5 p.m. And just not wake up till the next morning because I just didn't want to be awake.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's okay. I don't want to talk about, like, I don't.
No. Yeah. But I'm really sorry that happened. That's really hard.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, we move.
I know, but yeah, it's a good thing to reflect on that though, and like you could see like your progress from, you know, being at a low point where you felt you can sense that you've improved. Yeah. Right?
Oh, for sure. I would. Do you feel that? Because you're 24 now. All good.
My alarm.
Do you feel yourself change? I mean, you are. I mean, you kind of alluded to it before.
Yeah. Like, do I sense myself changing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm changing every single day, and I think everyone is every single day in ways. Like, I feel at 24 I'm the most, like, conscious I've ever been, but I also, the way I view people is I feel like people are, like, I view everyone as a little kid, like, because deep down everyone has that, like, inner child in them. Yeah. And a lot of people are tainted from experience. Like, everyone, like, as you can't preserve your innocence forever. But something about myself that I'm really intentional about is preserving myself in, like, the best way possible, like preserving my empathy for others, like not having a cold heart if someone does me wrong, or, you know, keeping that one trait about myself and, like, taking it into every interaction that I have with others, because I find myself changing so much that I need to have these core principles about myself that I could really identify myself as being, so that I don't get lost with, like, who am I? Like, who is Rebekah?
And having a place of empathy and...
Yeah, like, I would say I have a really strong moral compass. And there are certain traits about myself that I always want to preserve as much as I can. And I don't want external influence to change that. Like, because you see certain people, I have this theory, it's not backed up by anything, but I have I have this I have this theory that the more unhinged a person is, the more innocent they are, and the less their inner child has been tainted. So, like, have you ever met someone and they're just like wild and they're just like a little odd, but like they're the best, like, they,
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel like those people like are just, I don't know, I feel like their inner child hasn't been as damaged versus someone that's very stoic and very like almost monotoned. I feel like those kind of people have been hurt in a lot of ways, and societal norms have formed them into behaving almost robotic. Like, they have to be a certain way and they have to behave this way because it's acceptable by society. And if they behave any other way, they could get hurt or they could get judged. I don't know. It's just like,
yeah, I hear what you're saying. So the ones that are wild have a really innocent inner child.
Like in this, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
My best friend, she's the loudest person in the room. She's so like happy and like she has all these like childlike behaviors.
She takes up space. Yeah.
She takes up space and she has the best presence I've ever met. And she's definitely gone through things in her life, not to take that away, but she hasn't been tainted in certain areas of her life. And she's just so free. So she hasn't suffered in like ways that a lot of people have suffered. And she's so free and bold and childlike, like how a child would behave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so beautiful to me. It's like my favorite quality about her. And then I have another friend. She's really stoic. She's a great girl, but she's very like, not monotone, but she's very like just stoic. And I look at her life. She's been through shit. Like she's had a really hard life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not her fault, but I find that she behaves this way because it's her protection mechanism to like not get hurt again.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Are you following?
No, I am following. The thing I will say about your friend that has fantastic aura.
Mm-hmm. Aura.
Yeah. Her aura has aura.
It is.
I can't say that, because in therapy, one thing we've all learned and we all kind of know is every single human being goes through trauma.
Yeah.
So your friend that's really lively and joyful, she's not completely like her inner child could be more tame.
Yeah.
But she has been through her own trauma. Like there's no question,
for sure.
know? But I guess the way maybe she's projecting it and the way she's masking that inner child, whatever it might be, I don't know. Whatever that inner child is just coming out that way.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because I think, like for me, my inner child was fucked. Like I've been through some shit, and I know I project it in a way where I'm just like, like just completely intense in your face because I'm trying to overcompensate. You know what I'm saying?
That's a really good point. Yeah. So you just
and I fucking know that.
You just debunked my theory.
No, but I mean, it both can be true.
No, but that's a really good point. I didn't think of that. That's a really good point.
I'm not to say that your friend is deep down just like clinically
depressed. I'm gonna
go
check on her after.
No, it's just because it's inevitable that every human has gone through trauma. I have, you have, Alex has. It's just how that inner child comes up. And that's one thing I will say. As I've gone older, that inner child is becoming more and more like, hey, Mo, hey. It's becoming more present.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes...
Interesting.
And it's weird because you would think it would be the other way around. It
would be more quiet. That's one thing about growing up. Like, I always thought when I was younger, as I get older, I'm going to be like have this adult lens in life. And then you just grow up and you realize you're the same person. You're just older.
But I think you're naturally just more ahead of the curve, just maturity-wise.
Thank you. I would say yes, like maturity-wise, but like I think everyone has it in them. It's just what they present to the world, you know?
No, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, do you hold a lot of things back?
No. I don't think I hold a lot of things back, but like in what way would you say?
I don't know. Not honesty. No, I can tell you're honest. I don't feel like you have any ulterior motives. Just, I guess, just going off on someone.
Like anger-wise?
Yeah, or just... I
have a question for you, maybe. When you, like, let's say you're dealing with any sort of adversity, conflict, what's your, like, automatic response? Like, do you flight, do you shut down, or do you get angry? It's my favorite question to ask people, actually.
It's a really good question. I feel threatened.
You feel threatened?
Yes.
And then do you, like, attack? Or are you, like, quiet? Or do you escape?
Definitely not quiet. Flight.
You're a flighter.
Yeah. I mean, I get really anxious. Like, my heart starts to beat and chest tightness. But to mask it, I get angry. There's a thing in therapy where it's primary emotions and secondary emotions. I'll give you an example. I went through kind of a breakup last year. I was broken. I was completely shattered, like heartbroken, sad. I remember thinking, I'm done feeling this way. I'm going to get pissed.
Interesting.
To mask it.
That's a secondary?
That's a secondary emotion.
Okay, so your primary was I'm sad.
Yes, absolutely.
And then your secondary was I'm mad.
I'm mad. Because I'm done.
Interesting.
I'm done feeling this shitty.
Yeah.
Because, at some point you're like, okay, I hate this feeling.
Yeah. Very interesting. I've never heard of that. Primary and secondary emotions?
Emotions, yeah. It's a simple, like, it's really that simple. Like, I mean, those two go really well together when you're really sad and you're heartbroken and you feel like, someone's broken your trust or you feel like you've been done wrong. You feel hurt. Yeah. Right?
Of course.
And that's where, like, a lot of dudes that are, like, narcissists and they act all tough, it's like, bro, stop. Like, I know what you're going through. You're, like, you're dying inside. And now you're putting on this little act and this little thing. I know because I've been there. Yeah. And then you get into this place of just, like, you don't care. You don't care. You'll fucking snap on anyone.
Interesting.
But it's powerful. It's powerful because I don't feel shitty. Like, I don't want to feel this, so I'd rather feel this.
So you're like, I'd rather feel mad than sad.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never heard of that before. I could definitely see that, though.
And I guess for me, going back to your question, I think it's a flight of, oh God, I feel anxious. I feel stressed. I hate feeling stressed and anxious. I'm going to flip that into anger, which is not good. That's where I do my own thing of just like working and just being like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. I don't want to, like, kind of just like processing it.
Got it.
But it's
Very
tough, man.
Interesting.
It's really fucking tough. I can't.
So what would you say, because I guess this would go hand in hand, what would you say your attachment style is?
Oh, anxious.
Anxiously attached.
Yeah.
Have you ever changed your attachment style in a relationship before?
Yeah. I think after my first relationship a long time ago, I got into a place of, because I was so hurt, I just became like a narcissistic asshole to women. Yeah. Not because I wanted to, not because I wanted to be cool or like come off as like, oh, this guy's a tough guy, or it's just because I didn't want to feel that again. Yeah.
That's really introspective of you to admit that and be like, because most people wouldn't. Like, most people would be like, ego's so strong they don't want to admit where they were wrong. It's hard to be like, I did this wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me about that now. You gotta tell me about your.
I would say, okay, when I'm faced with some conflict, my immediate response, which I'm not proud of, is quiet. Like, I just get really quiet. And I think that's from being sad. But I've learned with time and relationships that I just need like 10 minutes or more to just process my feelings and be alone. Because whenever I'm upset, I just want to be alone. I don't want to be with other people, or especially the person that's made me upset.
What is it about being alone?
I just feel like sometimes like thoughts can get so loud that I'm like, I can't focus when I'm with another person. Especially if this person, like, I feel like triggered that emotion. I just want to be alone. But it's really hard for me in the moment to be like, hey, I need to be alone right now. But I'll force myself to be like, give me 10 minutes, please.
And then what happens in those
I usually,
minutes?
like, my scapegoat for any negative emotion is writing. So I'll usually just brain dump on paper how I'm feeling. And then I feel like it's, like, relieved. I feel like it's detached from me when I write it out. So even if I don't have, like, a notebook, I'll just write in my phone, like, just exactly how I'm feeling so I can get clarity of, like, why I'm feeling these emotions. And then I find conversations are way more productive afterwards. Yeah.
Do you get triggered quickly?
No. It takes a lot to get me mad. And I don't even get mad. I just get sad.
I mean, it's a good trait to have. You don't get mad quick. I mean, you don't get triggered quickly.
I mean, I'd rather get mad than sad.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like that's more boss energy. Like, I'm mad instead of being like, oh, I'm so sad.
No, I think it's fine though.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's just how I am.
Yeah.
I can't really change that, but I've gotten a lot better. Because in the past, I would be silent. I wouldn't even realize I was being silent. And I think that's a really toxic trait to have, because that's like protest behavior. I'm going to give you the silent treatment. The other person's confused. They're like, why are you not talking?
Oh, right. Okay.
And then I don't say like, I need 10 minutes to process my emotions. I'm upset right now. I just quiet. That's not fair for the other person.
Right.
So like with time, I've realized like with my previous relationship in particular, like that happened. And I knew in the moment, I'm like, it's not fair to him. Like I'm silent. He doesn't know why. That's not fair.
But you still wouldn't tell him.
I still wouldn't tell him. It took.
See, there's a little
I
bit
still
of
wouldn't. Yeah. So after 2 years of that, almost, this is like a 4-year relationship. Like we talked about that, and I was like, hey, yeah, I need to make some changes. I wouldn't get mad often, but when it would happen, it's like, why are you quiet? Why aren't you just talking about what's going on? I just felt so filled with emotions that I didn't even know how to communicate in that moment.
So you weren't trying to deliberately piss him off by...
No.
Because some women do that, though, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because some women will get quiet and become distant because they know that it'll mess with the...
Oh, no, that was not my intention.
But that was never your motive. It was just because you're going through it.
I'm just like, I'm feeling so many emotions. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret or speak out of emotion like that. I was just like, I just need time to process my emotions. And I didn't realize that until doing that over and over again, and them saying like, hey, I don't like it when you're quiet, when you're upset. And then me really like reflecting on that, like, yeah, that's not cool that I'm giving this person a silent treatment.
Did you find it wrong to speak about it? Did you feel like you were going to get judged or, I guess, thought of as a bad person if you were to speak your mind? Is that why you wouldn't talk about it? Or was it just a physiological reaction? Oh shit, like, oh fuck, here we go, and then shut down. And you wouldn't know why.
I don't really know the answer to that, but I think I've always been like that. Even as a little girl, I remember in school, like if I was getting in trouble for something, I would just be really quiet and I I would just keep my thoughts to myself. Like I would just, even if it wasn't my fault in certain things. Like, I remember a teacher once, I was asked, I really need to use the washroom. I was like, can I use the washroom? And she was so mean. She said no. And then I was just quiet. And I was like about to pee my pants as a little girl. I'm like, come on, let me go to the bathroom. I think that's terrible, side note. But
yeah,
it's just like an example of, like, I remember I've always been like that as a little girl. I just get quiet when there's any sort of problem. But it could get, like, I think that's one of the most toxic traits to have if you carry that into adulthood. Because the silent treatment is, like, awful.
You know what's interesting to me as you're saying that?
Yeah.
To me, when you're talking about all that, like even the story with the teacher.
Yeah.
There's like this part of you that's, you know, you're kind of timid and you kind of let people, you kind of don't, I mean, you're not assertive. But then again, now in your adult life, you're doing all these cool things. You're doing, like, you have your own business. You're traveling the world.
Yeah.
You know, teaching, have your own brand. Like you're killing it. So it's like these two polar opposite, right? Like your inner child is, you know, like you said, like you would just be quiet. You wouldn't really speak up when your teacher said, "Oh, you can't go pee." But now you're kind of like flipping it on its head by saying, "Fuck you guys, I'm doing my thing." You see how that works though?
Interesting.
You see how that inner child piece, because that inner child where you were just kind of sitting and you know, you're just like getting quiet. But now as a grown adult, you're speaking up, you're promoting yourself on Instagram, you're putting yourself out there. You see how like opposite it is?
It's very interesting. I would say, like, yeah, that's a really good example to use. I would also say, though, with that point, like, although I have this business and I'm speaking out for myself and, like, these things, I'm also still, like, a very, like I'm still very timid in ways. Like, I try my best to still be very feminine, although I, like, have this business and all this stuff, and still, like, be thoughtful and, like, empathetic towards others. Like, I find there's this, like, ego that can get in the way when people find success at a young age, where they can feel, like, superior, or, like, especially in a teacher's role. Like, for me, I'm teaching a lot with work, and a lot of the times I feel like I'm the student when I'm teaching still, like, in a way.
You
like,
have the authority.
I don't like having any authority. I don't like being an authoritative figure, because I prefer being a learner, but my job contradicts that.
Like, it's funny because you're saying all these things, but your actions and what you're really doing is completely opposite of the little girl that's just timid and, right? You're traveling the world teaching other people what to do, and you have a strong voice, you have a platform, but still there's a part of you where it's still that little girl in your classroom, right?
Yeah. I know it's
like, you say these things, but I'm just thinking, okay, well, I'm looking at you, you're doing all these sick things. You're far from that. I guess I still feel like that. Like, I still feel like that little girl, because that's me. She's a part of you. Yeah. That's
exactly.
You. Yeah.
Like, although, like, I would say I'm very comfortable and confident and, like, able to communicate in front of, like, people, but deep down, like, I don't know, I still feel kind of like the learner, like the more timid person.
That's your inner child, man.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't even know if timid would be a good way to explain it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I wasn't like timid, but I was just like more background vibes.
Submissive? Is that the word?
I guess so.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
I guess so. I would still say I am quite submissive. Like, if I'm teaching...
It's weird you say that, but I don't know.
Do you see? I mean, I guess you don't know me. Even when I'm teaching, like, a course, for example, the layout I've created is very engaging with students where I give all my students voices to feel like they're like teaching with me. Like I want it to be like engaging and not, hey, listen to everything I have to say because I know everything, because I know I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still a good person. You're not like a dictator.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just the mere fact that you're doing all these things.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That in itself, a lot of people would never do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
Like a lot of women aren't traveling the world and teaching people how to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like, remember what Aaron said to me? Just for some context. Remember the photo I sent you this morning? The chunky beefcake Mo?
Oh, yeah.
I was the fat, smelly, sweaty kid. That kind of was funny at times. That was kind of my go-to to be funny.
Okay.
And I never got girls. Like, the girl was always like my friend. He was athletic. He was like the jock. They always probably liked him. I was kind of like the thick kid around, just like kind of sweaty all the time with braces, right? And I always hated that kid. I'm like, ugh, that fucking, I don't like him. He's a loser. He's a dweeb. You know, he doesn't get girls. He's not that funny. And then I went to my therapy and he's like, that's the kid that's doing the podcast now. Like, think about it, right?
That's
like,
so sad.
because that's the kid, like, the reason why I'm here and doing all this now is because of that little kid. If I didn't have that little kid in me, I wouldn't be out here putting myself out there, you know, being cringe, right?
Not cringe, but
thank you.
Absolutely. No,
you know what I'm saying? But that's when going back to you, it's, you might not see it, but like I can connect.
You can see as an outsider.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm me, so I don't really see how others like view that. But that's a very good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah, so to my point, like you being, I guess, softer with people at times, it's just, you know, you got to honor that side of you, because it's not a bad side. It's not a bad thing, because that side of you is doing all this cool shit, you know?
For sure. No, absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the chunky fat.
You know what? I actually had that phase too.
Yeah?
For sure, yeah. And it builds character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like you got to go through phases like that in life. You know?
It was a funny phase. It was tough. Yeah. Did you think I was going to be the way I am?
I feel like we've just briefly talked after you invited me to the podcast. I didn't really have a perspective of you prior because I just didn't know you. Like it's really hard for me to form perspectives of people like without meeting them. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Like I base it on energy and like when I meet them.
Fair. Yeah.
You know, the vibes.
Yeah. We have a mutual friend. Yeah.
Kino.
Yeah.
Kino, yeah.
Yeah, he told me, dude, yeah, she's super cool. And I was like, yeah, I can tell.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Kino actually came to my place to have coffee with me and my mom on the weekend.
He told me.
Oh, did he? Yeah. He's so nice.
I was going to bring it up with you, but I was like, do I bring it up with her that we know him?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually asked Kino when you invited me to be on the podcast because I saw he was following you. So I sent him like, is this like safe? Like, I'm like, what is I don't know. Yeah, so I just wanted his opinion. And he's like, no, Mo's such a nice guy. Like, you're totally safe.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love him. I love Ken.
So nice. Nice guy.
Yeah, he's super sweet. I got kind of worried though, because he went completely off the grid with social media a couple days ago. Or yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And again, like going to my point with dudes, man, like you never know what someone's going through. So as soon as he did that, I was like, uh-oh. So I messaged his brother on Instagram, like, yo, is Keno good?
Aww, that's kind.
And I texted him. And
it's going back to our point of actions. Like you did the actions there.
Yeah.
That's really nice of you. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's good. He just having a little detox from social media.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Social media can be so toxic.
I hate it, yeah. How is it toxic for you, though? I mean, really?
I mean, I would say I have such a bad relationship with my phone because I have to be on it, like, for work. And it's really hard for me to balance, like, work and then, like, getting distracted on social media, like scrolling or whatever. So, I mean, I feel like it's toxic for everyone. It's such fake dopamine that we're all getting, and we compare ourselves to others and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
You know?
Is there something that pokes at you? Something, certain content or something that just doesn't sit well with you every time you see it?
I can think of, like, specific content. I don't have, like, I don't know.
Like, for me, it's, I guess, oh, man, I don't even know, like, dudes that are talking about how they're making, like, $100K a month.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that kind of shit. I'm just like, dude, shut up.
I know, because, like, I feel like I can respect that to a point because it's like you're marketing your business and you're trying to sell it in a way. But I think that there's a classy way to sell things, and it doesn't always have to be flashing money. There's, like, I don't know. Money is just one of life's, like, values. Like, of course, money's nice, but it's not everything. And I find that's not, like, the way to sell. It'll sell quick and cheaply, but it's not the way to, like, sell a prolonged, like, if I'm trying to sell one of my, like, lash glues and I were to say, like, this is going to make you X amount of money, I might get one buyer, but will I have someone subscribe to it and rebuy it every 2 weeks versus, like, selling the value of it and, like, other things?
Right.
I don't know. That's just the way I view it. But
what do you value?
I value a lot of things. I value connection hugely. I've learned that. I value morals, and I value, like, health, happiness, those core things. I do value money. I will say that. I'm not, like, a money hungry person. But I do think that I enjoy, like, the process of making money. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's the process. It's the work you put in.
Yeah, exactly. I would never want money to be handed to me. I value it so much earning it myself.
'Cause it's not about the outcome of getting the money. It's you enjoy the process. You enjoy the obstacles and what it takes, and
yeah, exactly,
this back and forth. And
yeah, because I learned really quickly about my perspective on, like, materialistic items. Like, I'm not a materialistic person because I've found, like, I don't even own one designer bag because I find that it makes you happy for, like, a second and it's like you're done. Like, it doesn't last the happiness versus, like, an experience to spend your money on, or, like, something that's gonna, like, prolong the benefit.
It's very refreshing to hear that from you. Not that I had a different idea of you, but not a lot of, I guess, I mean, how did you get to that point? I mean, that's very wise of you.
I think just, like, growing up, my parents have always been very humble. They've always instilled that in, like, my brother and I. And I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, I like buying, like, clothes and, like, things like that, but I'm never going to buy something for its label or how people will see me with it. Like, I'm only going to buy things that I genuinely like and, like, I appreciate the quality of and I like as a person. I'm not going to buy it because it's, like, popular. I think other people will think I'm cooler if I have this. But yeah, I just realized that it's like shiny object syndrome. Like, as soon as you get the newest thing and it's cool for like a little bit, and then it like you want the next new thing, and you're always chasing it. And I just try not to, for myself personally, I try not to conform to like social norms of like what's the average person should be doing my age at blank. Like I don't find joy in that.
Is it you don't find joy in that, or you just don't want to conform to how other people are?
I just don't find joy in it. Because if someone else is buying a designer bag and it makes them happy and they're content, I have no problems with that. It's like I don't really care how other people live their lives if it's not affecting others. But I just personally don't find like joy in that.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said if someone does get so much joy from getting a Prada bag, which is nice. I mean, we're not saying don't get joy from it, but
yeah,
your whole existence is relying on this little bag, right? I don't.
100%. I will say reward yourself. If like a small example is like for the longest time I wanted this one car. And I wanted it since I was 15 years old. I created endless vision boards of this car, blah, blah, blah. I wanted it so bad, but I wanted to grab it, like purchase it myself. I did not want it to be handed down or anything like that. And that is something that I rewarded myself with once I hit a certain milestone in my business. So I found, like, I still look at it, I'm like, did I even need that car? Like, it doesn't really matter. But I am proud of myself because like it was something that I had wanted for a prolonged period of time, like close to 10 years. And then it felt really good to get it after.
You should feel good. I mean, it's not.
I know. So part of me, I'm like, oh, you're so like conforming to the whatever dopamine hits, but.
But it's still, even when you're talking about it, kind of brings back to like that little like. That
hi buddy, that
softer, like submissive, not submissive, is that the word, but that side of you where you're kind of, you don't, not feeling you don't deserve it, but you just, I don't know, you don't give yourself enough credit, maybe?
I guess so. Yeah, I definitely have a hard time receiving compliments, I would say, and like receiving validation and all that stuff.
What about it? What about compliments that gets you?
I don't know. I get all like shy and I don't know how to respond to it.
You feel like you don't deserve those compliments?
No, I don't think it's that. I don't know. I think back to like childhood. My parents have always installed like be humble in us. And I think maybe it's that, like, I don't want to come across as,
so a little bit more strictness and...
Yeah, strictness for sure. I just don't want to come across like, yeah, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah.
Do you feel comfortable giving compliments?
Yeah, I love giving compliments.
But can't receive compliments.
I can receive them. I'm getting better, but it is more challenging to receive compliments for me, yeah.
Interesting.
How about you?
I love one of my love languages is words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. So I have no problem showering the person I'm with compliments, and not too much, obviously, not cringy level.
You can never give too many compliments.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's one thing I value too, because I don't know if that's a me issue though, where I don't need the person I'm with, especially with relationships, when I'm seeing a girl or whatever, like I don't need them to compliment me every second sentence.
Yeah.
But just something here and there to make me feel wanted, I guess. And that's really what that's what I value, I guess.
Do you think that guys don't receive enough compliments?
From women or?
Just in general.
I think so. I think men don't compliment each other as much they should. No, I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Like, you know how girls like go into the port side washroom and they're like, oh my god, your hair's so nice, where'd you get those shoes, this and like you'll hear all that, girls telling stories about how that happened.
Yeah, all the time.
Dudes are just like
in the mirror.
That's what I'm saying, like that's the difference. Like we're all like, it's like excuse my language, it's a big dick competition all the time. Like as soon as you walk into the washroom, you have to put on this little like persona and you just walk all in there all potent and just head up, chest out, and then you're washing. Even when you're washing your hands, you gotta wash your hands more alpha.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what? Like I've had moments where a dude has come up to me and they're like, dude, nice shirt, and I'm just like,
thanks.
Oh my god, wow, thanks, dude. Makes my whole night. I think it was at the Chris Brown concert. Wait, yeah, it was the Chris Brown concert. I was looking sick. I stepped out for that concert, and yeah, some guy just out of nowhere was like, "Yo, I really like your shirt. Where'd you get it from?" "Oh, Zara. Aww. Thanks, man."
That make you feel really good?
Really good. No, it was my pants. That's what it was. And yeah, I just think dudes really don't, because it's just this constant. Ooh, what's this? This is a threat. He's trying to take away something from me.
I see.
Right? Mm-hmm. But it's just so draining, man. It's just not a good way to live.
Of course. Maybe you make the change and start giving compliments to every dude in that
bathroom. No, I mean, I think a few months ago, this kid at the gym, probably high school, like 17 at most, he's wearing these like sweatpants, and he looks like a little nervous, a little timid. You know, he's getting into it. He's doing some bicep curls. I'm like, all right, go off. I went up to him, like, he was wearing these like OVO sweatpants, and I'm not an OVO guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, I like your pants. And his face just like, you know, it glue up, you know. Aww. And if it made me feel good, you know what I'm saying? Because dude, I don't think people realize when you do that, it actually makes you feel good about yourself. So in a way, it's selfish by doing it, but still, you're the point.
You're making someone else feel good too, so it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Aw, I love that.
Can girls be fake about that, though? Because
yeah, like, I mean, I've never given a fake compliment, but I think that, I mean, I can't say never. Maybe I've given a few, but like in my present mind, like I will only compliment something I actually like, but I'm sure that people can give fake compliments a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if someone's like, "Oh my god, you're so pretty," and you're like, "Oh my god, you're so pretty," it's like, am I like, you know, like, is this compliment back or like real, or is it just you're saying it because, like I said, nothing wrong with it. It's like a nice compliment, but
I find it interesting when girls can tell each other how pretty they are. Like I can't go up to another dude and be like,
"You're so
dude, you're so hot."
Yeah, you can.
Honestly,
you should do it next time you see a handsome man.
Yeah,
you're a handsome fella.
Dude, you're a man missile. I'm not gonna lie. You're an absolute tasty dish.
You should definitely do that.
I've almost gone up to a guy at the gym and be like, dude, you have a nice back.
You should. Why not? He worked hard for that.
But it just comes off as like, okay, so, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta give full disclosure. Like, I'm not that.
Yeah.
But I just want to say you have an incredible back.
Yeah. There's a way to say it.
Yeah. You got an absolute turtle shell on you, man. Just like your back is absolutely ginormous.
That's so funny.
Do you feel like girls, I mean, we can talk about you specifically. Do you feel like you do have a lot of power over men? Like you can feel that you have a presence, you can make dudes feel insecure, or because you guys do. Believe me, you do.
I think, like, definitely there's, I don't know if power is the word I like. Like, it doesn't feel right.
It is real power, though. I will tell you.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't view men like that. Like if
I know you don't, but how do I say this? Like if you walked in a room with a bunch of dudes and they saw you, our IQ points would drop tremendously. Like every time we see an attractive woman, our IQ levels diminish.
Really?
Unknowingly why. I don't know why. Not that we just get not that we get dumber. It's just we just tense up and we fucking losers. We just get into mental warfare. And it's with every guy. Like if a guy tells you, "Oh no, I'm fucking him. I'm this and that."
I'm him.
Peace, dude. Peace. You're lying to yourself and everyone you know.
That's so funny. So do I sense like? Are you asking me if I sense the switch in the room or?
I guess not even if you sense anything, but do you know how much power you would have over a guy?
I don't think I would. I know that. No.
Because you want me to be on. You're good looking. You're doing your shit. You're doing your you're popping off.
Thank you.
So, I mean, you know what I mean. Like I'm just kind of like, do you? I guess I want to say I want you to know that you would have a lot of power over a guy.
That's really sweet. Like, I just don't. I don't know the power dynamic. It doesn't feel right to think I have power over anyone. I just want to. I don't know.
Not that you want to have power. Not that you. Yeah. That's your goal to have power over the guy, but. Inevitably, I guess that's just like how it is. It's just how it is.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like I never really sense like I have a power to me. If anything, like I think my power is, I hope, it's like making people feel comfortable and peaceful. That's what I would deem to be powerful over like, I'm just picturing like a dangling carrot. Like that's how I picture power.
But that's quite literally what it is though.
I guess so. I don't know. I just don't view men like that. Maybe you've changed my perspective. Maybe you've tainted me.
No, I don't want you to change. No, like the way you're explaining how it is, be like that. Absolutely. But I just wanted to, I guess, have a moment of you telling you that, you particularly would have a lot of power over guys. And I kind of want you to know that. Thank
you. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that information.
I don't know. I don't even know why you relay that information. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh, okay.
No. It's interesting, though. It's a fun fact that I don't really think I've considered.
You know what I mean, Alex? Yeah. It's just, Aaron's talked about it, like the guy we had on before. Yeah, our IQ points drop.
Interesting. I don't really go out much, so I'm trying to picture like in the only environments I mean, that's not true. I travel quite a bit, but like only environments I'm, I guess, around like an accumulative amount of guys is the gym. And I don't really look up when I'm at the gym.
Yeah, it's a zoo in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it can get pretty intense in there, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, the reason why I'm saying that, I mean, even just doing the podcast with you, it's not like I got nervous or scared, but it's kind of okay. I need to come correct. You know, I gotta dial in. I can't just.
But you're doing great. Like there's. Like I feel like you probably view every guest like that. You probably like every guest situation. You're like, I gotta dial in. I gotta like be a good host. I gotta. Do my thing.
Yeah, but more so, I mean, there's an not intimidation factor with you. Like, I just feel like I need to, like, be better because I see you're doing all these things, you know, you hold yourself to a certain level. And, like, you're telling me, oh, I'm doing great. I'm being, you know, calm and comfortable in myself. Mm-hmm. But still, there is a moment of, like, oh, shit, here we go.
I know. I see what you're saying. But honestly, like,
and that's the power I'm talking about. I see what you mean. I
hope that like anyone I'm around, anyone you're around, like I hope like the presence I bring can be like, okay, this person is comfortable to be themselves and to feel good about themselves. But yeah, I don't expect you to have, like, I don't have any expectation on you. I just want you to be yourself. And you're doing great.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, you're pretty calm over the mic and camera.
Yeah. Well, I'm like on the camera all the time for work. So I'm like, whatever.
You ever get hate comments?
All the time. Oh my God, do you want to hear the number one?
Yeah.
Everyone comments on my teeth and they say, I look like Bugs Bunny.
You have great teeth.
No, I have two.
I mean,
It's whatever, but I get the bunny emoji a lot.
Wow, really?
It's whatever. Like, I'm not, like, affected by it, but I'm just, like, I didn't really notice my teeth prior to filming online. And then the obvious hate comments, too. Like, I don't really care. I just, like, block anyone.
What are the obvious? Is it from women?
I don't know. They're usually, like, bot accounts. People just being, like, just saying stupid stuff.
About, like, your looks?
Yeah, like, I'll definitely have people commenting on my looks. I'll have people commenting on, like, what I'm saying, my IQ, all this stuff. But it's just whatever. Like, if anyone's hating on a account behind a screen, like, to me, they're just, like, a fool.
You're so down bad if you do that?
Yeah, I've never gotten that triggered by something online where I've intentionally commented something hateful on it.
It's weird, right?
It's really weird.
Because you really have to, like, get pissed by the clip for some reason, take the time to fucking write it out, and then have the audacity to press send, which is like, whoa, man.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. I remember once, this one video, I don't even remember what it was. It made me mad. I, like, typed something. I don't know what I said. And then literally 10 minutes later, I felt so guilty and, like, terrible about it. I had to go delete it.
Really?
Yeah, I had to go delete it. But I'm thinking of that because I'm like, they clicked it, they typed it, they clicked send, they left. Probably on to the next video.
Jesus Christ. It's so weird to me. The one time actually I did comment was during COVID, and they kept giving updates on the closures of we're still closed. I was so pissed that I commented it was something like, how is this gonna affect LeBron's legacy or something. Just something so fucking stupid, and I didn't care.
That's so funny.
And I got a bunch of likes. I was like,
yeah, you're like, yes.
Let's go. Can I address this, by the way, with the hate comments?
Yeah.
There's been some people that are hating, and here's my thing with people that hate on social media. It's the whole commenting thing and, like, shitting on me. Oh, like, you know, Mo has a shitty podcast. He's a cringy guy. He has eye bags. Get him some sleep.
People saying that?
Yeah, people go off on my, and I know I have eye bags. It's genetic. I get great sleep. I don't do cocaine.
What? I don't understand, like, when people need to comment on, like, the way someone looks, or, like, didn't even notice your eye bags. Like,
well, thank you.
I don't even think you have eye bags. Like, it's so weird.
It's, this guy comes fried. I haven't smoked weed in 5 years. I don't do Xanax. Like, all this shit. Here's my thing. Like, all that shit is okay, cool. Like, you can say all these things. I'm a shitty host. My podcast sucks. I do Xanax. I don't sleep at all. I get great sleep. Cool. All that's fine. It actually makes my clip go more viral because it just starts percolating in the system and the feeds.
It's good.
So you're doing me a favor.
Yeah.
That's not real, though. That's not real. What's real is, like, these people in person would not say a thing.
To your face.
To my face.
Yeah.
That's what's real. Like, you will not do shit.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
those people just suck. They just suck.
It just and I know a few of them, And I know for a fact if they saw me in person somewhere, a library, fucking in the back of Barnut, whatever. I don't go to Barnut. Fuck that place. They'll act like they've seen a ghost. I know that.
100%.
So it's just, I don't, do your thing. I mean, do your thing. Comment as much as you want, but it's just, that's not what's real.
I don't like it when people are putting hateful energy out into the world in general, but especially when someone's doing their thing and trying to do something good and be creative. And like you're literally starting a podcast. You're giving people platforms. This is like your creative escape. And if someone's hating on someone for doing that, like that person's very insecure. That person's very sad deep down because that person is probably envious of you. They probably want to do something like that. And they can't.
And it's a shame. I don't know. What are some things that you're personally working on yourself for the foreseeable future? Like, what are some things that you can look at yourself and say, I need to fix this, or I need to figure out why this is happening, whether it's a pattern or a certain thought process or a habit or...
That's a really good question. And I have an answer immediately because I'm intentionally trying to work on it. But I just think I'm so dopamine addicted. Like, my phone in particular is such a struggle for me. And just being so stimulated 24/7, it's really hard for me to just sit in silence with thoughts. Or to not be stimulated, like, 24/7. So I will get over this, but I really hope that in the next, like, 6 months here, I can, like, get to a point where I'm, like, not fully reliant on, like, external dopamine. I could be more intentional about where I'm, like, spending my time, how I'm... Because it gets into productivity, and, like, you don't want to be constantly stimulated 24/7. It's... Like, you need to be bored. You need to feel boredom. All these things, they're very crucial. So I don't want to be addicted to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say you can't sit with your thoughts, what does that feel like?
I just feel bored. Like, what I've been trying to do is, like, go for a walk without my phone a day. And it's been, like, really helpful. But I just get so excited to check my phone when I get back. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, why am I... This is so fake. Like, this is fake. This is not real. So I want to get to a point where that's not my life. This is my life. It's just hard to balance with being so prevalent on social media with my work. But I'll figure out a way to balance it. Yeah.
So the thoughts that you're having are just boring when you're not on your phone. Are they negative? Do they go into negative places?
I think I've really corrected my mental narrative. Like, I have a really nice and kind inner voice to myself. Was not like that before. But I think I can get to a point when I'm so undistracted where I'm like, you're not doing enough. Like, you need to be working. Blah, blah, blah. It's always like you're not doing enough is what I'm telling myself.
When you're not on your phone, you're sitting with your thoughts.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, I could be like, I don't know, editing a video to post that needs to get done. Like, I could be way more productive with this time. But it's just, that's not like the joy of life. Like, life is not all about work. Life is not all about, like, keeping up with the Jones. Like, there's just more to life.
And that's the dark part of social media and being a brand
online, right?
Online, yeah.
Yeah. And my brand is also built on, like, me, so it's really hard for me to, like, detach or allocate a lot of, like, content filming and stuff, because, like, I've built my brand to have myself as the face of the brand, which is probably one thing I would do differently.
There's a lot of pressure on you now.
Yeah, like, even thinking, like, selling the business one day, like, I can't, because, like, I am the brand. I mean, maybe I can, but figure that out.
You should be proud of that, though. I mean, that the reason. Well, I mean, since you are the brand and it's doing so well, you're doing something right? People gravitate towards you you're doing something right, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to look at it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. It's not easy. Like, you'll just go back to, well, fuck, I need to be
doing this. It's just like a loop, but everything's a habit. Everything can be broken. It just takes intentional discomfort, and it'll be good. Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that. I need to figure that out.
Yeah. But I just feel so grateful that that's my problem. There's so many worse problems I could be facing.
Yeah.
Like dopamine. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing that that's my problem.
I'm pretty anxious looking at my phone right now because I put on Do Not Disturb.
Put it on DND.
It's like that moment of, oh God, now I open it up. Oh shit. You know?
Yeah, it's like all this stuff I gotta deal with.
Yeah.
Why I gotta deal with this?
And I always catastrophize everything. I'm always waiting for that one notification where someone's like, dude, you got fired, or dude, you,
like, unrealistic.
or like unrealistic, or like a friend messaging me and say, dude, I hate you, fuck off, I'll never want to be your friend again. It always, when I don't check my phone, I always feel like
that's what you're gonna see.
That's what's happening, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I used to think that way too.
How'd you get out of it? Because I'm struggling with that.
Therapy.
Yeah.
And you're studying that, so
you're studying that more. You should be fucking.
No, I'm kidding. But honestly, this one exercise that helped me tremendously, it's called processing your positives. Have you heard of it?
Not really, no.
Okay, I'll walk through it really briefly.
Yeah.
But essentially, like, you write down 10 things you're grateful for. Could be like small little things, like literally like it's sunny outside. And make sure that the things you're writing down are like internally based. Like, you can't be like, so and so called me pretty. Like, you have to be like, I felt beautiful. Like, this is an example. Anyways, so
I'm gonna write that. That's one tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write.
I feel beautiful. So from there, I would put alarms on my phone all day, and I would process my positives every hour of the day. It was annoying, but I'd go through this list of 10 items. What if the example was, I went to the gym today? Why is that a good thing? Is the first question you ask yourself. Why is going to the gym today good? You would say, because I'm looking after my health. The second thing is, what would a friend tell you about that? Your friend could say, good for you, you're working on your fitness, blah, blah, blah. And then you move on to the next one. So you go through the list of 10, and you do that every hour of the day. I did this for 3 months straight. I kid you not, I'm by default so positive now, like with my thoughts. I used to be such a Debbie Downer in my head. Like, I would be like, oh, you're not working hard enough. Why didn't you do one more rep, or blah, blah, blah. But I kid you not, my default now is like kind to myself. It's very empathetic, it's boosting myself up.
Yeah.
I feel like that one exercise alone like rewired me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Process your positives.
So about like 10 hours a day, basically, every hour.
It was intense for the 3 months, but that alone really helped, and it's actionable. It's something you can actually start to implement.
Right. And it has to be one thing that you say to yourself, and then something your friend says to you about the thing you said.
Yeah, it's like you're like almost playing in your head. You're saying like, what would this person say to you? Because if you're not so nice to yourself, you maybe putting yourself in that third person's perspective and like affirming that positive thing that happened might help.
Right. Okay. It's a friend. It has to be a friend, or it could be any. It
could be just like, what would like a stranger say, or
right.
What would your mom say?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like one. That.
Oh yeah, I'm might as well. I need to do it. I mean,
you start to see all the things you should be grateful for. Like, you start to see things that are good in your life. But it's also really hard to be so mean to yourself. They're both hard.
It's annoying. It's just, it doesn't make sense how your mind goes to that. Like, it deliberately just starts to like break you down. Like, it doesn't, why is my own mind doing that to me?
I think it's just repetitive behavior. It's just negative loops over and over and over again.
Yeah, you just get stuck.
And then you just gotta change it. And when you're changing it, it's uncomfortable. But then you adapt to that new change.
Right.
So we're always changing.
It's super uncomfortable too.
So uncomfortable.
Fuck it, I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah. Process your positives.
This was good, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Do you think so?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. We'll call it on that.
You can find me on Instagram at LashesByReb_. And that's where you can find my business page.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much. That was
sick.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you.